What is up, everybody? Ethan Scott here, and we are back. We are back on our green destination uh, career that will eventually use impulse and warp and see how society moves so quickly when we devote all of our resources to science. I don't know. But for right now, today, actually, last night, I don't know if you caught it, but I made like a really bad rover. So I went on today and I wanted to look around and see if there were any tutorials or anything like that to make a really good rover. And I realized, or I found out, I should say, that there are none really. There might have been at one time, but they're overshadowed by other videos today talking about like just rovers here or there or just basic tutorial on rovers in general, but there's no like low tech early career rover, and it's something that most people should probably run into because like if you look at the map here, like each one of these different buildings has biomes of its own, and it's not just one. For some of them, like the flagpole is a different biome than the astronaut complex, and like I think the space place space plane hangar has like a couple of points, like there's like if you're on it or next to it, there's different ones. So there's actually a lot of science just right here that we can grab without ever going into the sky and being able to recover everything except for a little bit of you know liquid fuel. So that's what I wanted to focus on today. What we're going to do today is try and build a really like low tech, early career, but stable and effective uh, rover. Rover's the word, rover. So into the space plane hangars. Can I not say that word today? Space plane hangar. Let's see here. Do 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 do. I want to start. I wanted to start with this. So I have an idea. I have a concept. Ooh, it's so small. I'm used to playing in I'm used to playing in sandbox mode, so I'm not used to the VAB and the space plane hangar being so tiny and like basic. It's cute. All right, so do do do. We're gonna need an air intake on the front of this. We have to follow when building vessels. We follow a certain set of rules. Okay, so it has to kind of make sense. So what I mean by that is, uh, there has to be a way for Kerbals to get in and out. It has to, perform its tasks the way it's supposed to perform its tasks. But really, just like I don't want to see like a if this had a doorway or something like that, or if it's a living space to a living space, and then like a gas tank to a living space. There's no way to get to that last living space, so there's no point for having it. You know what I mean? So it's got to make sense. It's got to be low cost and as reusable as possible. And then it has to be, actually, I want to stay in here. That's what I want. It has to be, um, it's got to have, as Vios would say, a cool factor to it. I want to keep the cool factor kind of high, or at least as high as I can. So let's see here. I had an idea. So what I'm doing is I've put the air intake on the front. I've got the module here, and I've just set this little Type E wing connector that I got in my avionics packet. And then to do this, you need the avionics packet in career because you need the wheels. Can't have a rover without a wheels. So, all right, let's see what else we got going on. Go back to here. So we just take the Type E. Is that off? No, that looks on center. That looks pretty good. I wanted. Oh, yeah. No, that's right. I need science now. And then that should go right there. Yeah. And now we need cargo. Ha ha. And that's kind of what I was expecting. but we're going to, oh, I want to flip it. There we go. And then that should open there. Good. We're going to have fun. This is where Kerbal actually gets fun. I used to say no clipping whatsoever, but I don't do that anymore. Actually, especially since we've added the extra. Does that look good? The extra part, same vessel interaction and rigid attachment, and usually auto strut. Where's my auto strut? Do I not have it in career mode? I didn't know that. This might get interesting. Okay. All right. So I was unaware of that, but yeah, no auto strut. But auto strut is one of those features. Now that we have same vessel interaction specifically, I think clipping is kind of part of the game. It allows for a bunch of stuff. Like, look at that, like a little cargo bay on a little rover. That's great. I like it. We'll get to inside the cargo bay in a minute. Up here, though, we got to build like a battery bank because we got to try and watch our part count. We're only at 5 now, so we're doing good. Let me get to the little things later. I got to do this part first. Oh, wait, that's how I'm doing that. That goes up top. So maybe I do have to do the battery bank. All right, hold on. Don't mind me. I'm just going insane. Can you go somewhere you've already been? What? You're not answering me.
Are you talking to him?
I don't know. There we go. I don't want to clip those down because they're going to be... Okay, so that's what I want to do. There we go. I should throw on some music in the background or something while I'm building because I don't really... Oh. All right, so there's 2 batteries. There'll be more batteries, but I just want those up there to allow... Where is it? Oh, it is in science. It's this. I need this. So we want that. And then it's backwards. I want it the other way. That should be good. Good. And then doop, 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 doop. Up a little bit and back a little bit. There we go. All right. So this guy, amazingly useful. If you don't know about the experiment storage unit, the way it works is it has an infinite capacity. So I used to throw a whole bunch of these up there and then I would store them. It has an infinite capacity as far as I know, or as far as I remember. But it has an infinite capacity, but it can only take one type of experiment from each biome. So if I do a goo in, on the surface of the planet, and I do a goo on the out in the ocean, and then one up in space, and then I end up having like 8 or 9 goos, it can hold all of them plus all of the other experiments that I've done. As long as it's all done in different biomes, it can only hold one experiment per type per biome. So it's a great tool. And we got to put all of that in, but we're going to do that later. Close. That looks kind of ugly when it opens up in there. I don't think I'm going to worry about that much. All right. Little ones. Little guys. Make sure it's... There we go. That's what I want to... What are you doing? What are you mirroring on? Thank you. What? Oh, because it's radial. That was interesting. I might use that as a building technique one time. Can I replicate? Oh, I'm definitely going to use that as a building technique. That's cool. All right, we'll play with that later. Hold on. Come, come on. There we go. We want to be, well, actually, because I'm probably going to need two of these things. There we go. And there we go. Because when you're building a rover, you want your, so I might go one more out actually, because no, one more. I said one more. There we go. So you want your weight to be as low as possible. How am I doing on parts? I'm about half. How am I doing on price? Oh, coming in low at $5,000. That's not bad. That's not bad. So far, we haven't added any technology or wheels or anything like that yet. So, but you want to bring this down as low as possible. It just makes it less likely that you're going to tip over. And seeing as we have absolutely no like stability SAS control, it's probably going to be of a benefit to us. Now the engine, I was thinking of kind of that, but that places it like really far above. Maybe I want to sink this down into there and then place things around it. Hold on. Let's see here. See if it'll even go that far. Sometimes when you push it too far, it like, it's not what I wanted. When you push it too far, it offsets, and I don't want that either. I mean, it looks pretty dead on. And then that sticks out the back, and then this still opens up in a kind of very clipped manner, but that's okay. Yeah, I think we can work around that. Okay. It also gives me more space up here. Okay, cool. So, wheels. Go back to here. I should have these. How big are they? I was not. I was kind of planning this in my head, not knowing exactly which parts I had. See, those are way too big. I can't be using those. Let's see what else I got. Oh, Jesus, those are huge. Why would they give you the big ones first? Why can't you have, like, the tiny ones? We have directional control. Well, that's hilarious. I'm going to add that. Definitely. Right? Huh. Huh. Doesn't really affect it all that much. The fact that it's, like, different sized. No, that should be good. Okay. Let's see here. Can we do it with these? Can you place things on these? Yes, you can. Yeah. Okay, cool. So, take these. Oh my goodness. I will get this. There we go. They have those spikes sticking up. I don't think that matters. And then just no, it matters. Okay. Hold on. Might have to redesign it in my head.
Yeah, go back to here. Let's play with this a little bit more. Because what I'm trying to do is like extend it out. I want it to be. Well, that might be a good idea. Okay. And then trying to get it as wide. So you want it as low and wide as possible. So then we should be able to take these, set them here. Oh no, that's backwards. I don't want that. I mean, I could have fixed it another way, but that's fine. And then let's see here. Nope. Rotate. Doop, doop, doop. That's pretty straight, right? Sometimes they're a little bit off. This one looks a little bit off. Too far. Awesome. Yeah. Now. Nope. This. Alt click. C. And why did I think I could do this? What was my thought? Oh, I'm on the wrong side. That's right. And I've messed it up. So boom. What is going on here? Down a click. But I'm off. Why am I off? Oh, that's why. Doop. Doop. There we go. And then, sake of time, we're just going to doop. And they should be smart enough. All right. So these guys, I don't think I can turn it off on these wheels. But normally I would try and take off the braking, anything past the front here so we don't. But this one's pretty good. It's kind of low. I'd like it lower. Can we lift those up a little bit? Let's see here. That's a little bit better. Maybe more? How's that? No. It did nothing. So yes, because that'll put it lower on the ground. Okay. Right. But I want to be able to take some bumps. So there we go. Okay. We'll try it. We'll give it a shot. It'll probably go through some testing phases. Right now we're going to load these up and just drive it around. See if it works. See what happens. Very important part of Kerbal Space Program is just testing things constantly. Close. Making sure they work. All right. Looking more like a submarine. That is, it kind of does look like it might advance into a submarine as we go on. I've never gone down to see like I know there's like one anomaly at the bottom of the ocean, but thank you, first time viewer. Thank you. And you have the name of what? Advanced equal, unlock normal struts to use auto struts. I did. Did I not? I thought I did. Do I do it in here? Oh, I see what you're saying. I need struts before I can have auto struts. Yeah, that makes sense. That's a good point. All right. So, I mean, it's very already very well balanced. It does look kind of like a submarine now that you say that. All right, let's see how it moves. I'm actually trying to test, like, as I'm using my little jet engine thing here. What is it doing? Yeah, all right, cool. Oh, that's going to speed up really quick, so turn that throttle off. Oh, yeah. That's nice. Right? Whee! So that will definitely be able to get us moving around. Low-tech, science, rover. All right, cool. Actually, while we got it here and we know we're going to break it, let's do a little bit of a speed test. Go, go, go. Speed. Speed faster. Wee, woo. Likes to turn really quick. I like it. I was going to turn off like steering and stuff, but these... I guess I can turn off steering for the back ones. Make it a little bit more flush. All right, here we go. Let's hit a ramp. You should always try and make something using a jet engine fly for at least a little bit. It feels like something's wasted. Oh, tiny flight. Tiny flight. Ooh. Oh, Jep. Here, we'll bring you back to life. Alrighty, so that's cool. And we could probably take this off, put that on, and just put these like up there. But I don't need anywhere near that many batteries. I was worried about my battery life, but as the engine is going, it should be like filling that up. So I shouldn't have to worry about that. What did I do? What did I do? I'll figure it out, guys. You know, there we go. Oh, almost. There we go. So we're going to put those like that. So I don't need that many batteries. So that's awesome. The steering was great. Everything worked great. We just got to science it up and start doing stuff. Let's see here. And the cool part about this is we should, I'm going to double check this, but we should only need like one of each of these experiments, because that should be able to store all the experiments for each different biome. Not that we have a ton of experiments to be, doing, but this thing needs to be in the air, doesn't it? Altitude 5 kilometers. So we might put that on like a plane, especially that might be something else that we work on today. Because this actually came together a lot faster than I was expecting. That was a quick build. And as long as the science works, or the container works the way I remember it working, I mean, we should be done. Right? Let's see here. Is there anything else that we can add? I mean, we can make it look cool with some nose cones. There is a cool factor, like I said. I'm just seeing if there's any like necessity items so we don't go, because we've only got 3 left. Oh no! Maybe we can drop that to 1 battery, but I'm worried about that. Oh, that's a shame. We couldn't like block them all. We can only block 2. All right, we'll do it out of spite for that. Oh no, those are the big nose cones. So we're not blocking anything. There we go. Beautiful. She's beautiful. What do we name her? We'll take a suggestion from Keith Meefs, and we're going to call it the sub prototype. That is the sub prototype rover. So it's One day when I grow up, I want to be a submarine. There we go. All right. Now, we don't want Jeb going out. Jeb test drove it, but we actually not going to send Jeb out. He's got some experience. He's been launched at high speeds for no reason. We're going to send a scientist because I think with a scientist on board, you get more science. I think. I'm pretty sure. That's like a system they added. I haven't paid attention to the science and stuff for a while. I've just kind of been. I don't actually need to put these in there. I can put them out here so I don't have to open it. It's just cool. I'm going to leave it. Close. It's sciencey. There we go. So save this. Let's launch. And we'll get some... Ooh, I found the island airway. With a set of driving planes on board would work as a submarine right now. Oh, true. If I just gave it some like control, I could just drive it down there. That's cool. But I've tested that before, and there's no different science the deeper you go into the ocean of Kerbal, or at least not as far out as I've gone. Maybe if you go like really far out. Alrighty, so we'll activate our little liquid engine here. We'll do our little roly-poly-olies. And like, even with the roly-poly-olies, I don't know why I'm calling them that, but even just shifting side to side, I am able to move forward kind of and not really have an issue with it. I'm already moving at 1 meters per second, apparently. Let's see here. Yeah. Oh, he can see nothing. Good. Good. Good luck, man. This is not remotely driven, so let's see here. I should have already gotten all of this stuff already here on the runway, I think. Yeah, in the last episode. They never intended submarines being a thing. They just never patched the jet engines working with the water out. No, and I actually have loved that they never patched it and never fixed it, because submarines have always been like a cool thing to do in this game. It's I've always wanted to make like a drop pod that could come back up, but even with Kerbal attachment system, the drop is only 50 meters, and you need to go way deeper. Am I still? No, I'm doing okay. Interestingly, though, they did make sure propellers wouldn't work in the water. I didn't know that, and that's ridiculous. But that sucks, because you think they would, you think you could like case them and make them waterproof. But at least the jet engines do. And I know for a fact that one of the anomalies is at the bottom of the ocean. I'm trying not to give away what they are, but I've never seen it. I just know it exists. Alrighty, so we're coming up on our first lake. I'm trying to do a big circle, so we're going to start over here. I should have just gone down the runway, but I was dancing with my little sub Rover. That's one way to slow down. And if I'm not wrong, yeah, battery is holding. I just can't be not propelling myself for very long. My favorite submarine was an orbital drop pod that became a submarine that could also re-enter orbit. That's cool. I would love to see that. I'd love to try that as a challenge. That's crazy. So from orbital, went all the way down, went into the ocean, came back up from the ocean, and then back into orbit on lathe. That's a lot of delta V, my man. That's a lot of delta V. What is going on back here? I've never even like paid attention really in career mode or like to the level 1 facilities. Valani, they have just oh no. I'm not. Oh, let's turn around. They have I-beams just holding up like parts of this building. They're just
Even message yourself, they're not the smartest things.
Right? She was watching them walk around in the Vab, and they were almost getting hit by the people, the Kerbals driving the truck, and they're like, she was like, "Oh my god, they're dangerous. They're giving me anxiety over here." I'm like, "Yeah, they're not that smart." Can I make this thing stop? Like, what is going on? It's not stop. Maybe if I bump it into something. Oh, I don't want to do that because I can't back up. All right, I'll just do it like slowly while it's moving me along. Oh, I probably have to shut down my engine. That'll bring me to a stop. Maybe. Whee! Or is it just that physics, like the what is it? The I don't remember what it is. Anyways, we're constantly. We have a self-propelled vehicle. Just moves 2 meters per second constantly, forever and ever and ever. No fuel needed. This is great. All right, let's do some science. Observe mystery goo. We're just gonna have to like go back and forth. I should probably read them. Hold on. Let's review the data. Oh no. Recycle. We're gonna do it again. Observe mystery goo. No. Space plane hangar. Okay. So we got space plane hangar. I can't say that today. Someone else say it for me. Nope. Log temperature from the space plane hangar and log pressure from the space plane hangar. There we go. And then once we got all of that, oh, we got to do this. Conduct materials. We got to crew report. EVA. Woo! We're like rolling. No one's controlling the vessel. Get back in. Turn. There we go. That's everything. Now, we should be able to collect all. And what? That's it? I can't reset that? Why can't I reset that? Oh, maybe I have to be out to reset it. That's what it is. Restore. Oh, wow. This isn't going to go well. We might be restarting this. Come back. Come back. Okay. All right. Let's fix that. Pretty sure the sub was only 15 to 20 parts. It was Wheelsy Rapier Terrier MK1 pod. Wheelsy on reverse thrust with atmosphere Terrier dock with that's great, man. That's crazy. I might take on something that ridiculous. Right now I'm just trying to, get this thing to work. I forgot that I was going to have to be outside to reset them. So I want them to be super close. I should be able to set that guy right in there. Yeah. And then now it makes sense. Now it makes sense that we have the little space there. This is cool, and I'm gonna keep it like for this thing, but I want to pull these out because that was annoying trying to like move the camera around constantly. Am I gonna have to reset this one? No, these should just be gauges. I should be able to just. These have to be reset. And those are the only signs that I have. All right, other than that, we should be good. Everything okay?
Yeah, Lila asked me to make her noodles. Like start the water and stuff like that.
Oh, thank you very much.
Okay.
I don't know if you guys know this or not, because you don't actually personally know Villani, but she's pretty freaking amazing. So, shout out to Villani.
Do you want some of your dad's scampi?
Maybe much later. Alrighty. Let's see if it still like randomly rolls forward. Go, go, go. Or is that when I just... Now it'll probably randomly roll forward. I always wanted to make an SSTO to lathe to carry the submarine, but I could never get enough Delta V for it. Well, we're actually going to be... I don't know if this is what you were intending, but pretty soon we'll be getting tons of Delta V in this series. Right now, we got to grab a whole bunch of science. And actually, we will probably take a little bit of time to get to lathe. I was doing Delta V calculations earlier, and it's feasible for us to get to pole with a decent sized vessel that would house enough or have enough room for a couple of Kerbals to take that kind of a trip. But not for a long time in career, obviously. But just the amount of room that we would need versus the amount of time that it takes. But we'll see about that later on in the series. It's going to take us a minute. And we might do like other stuff. Yeah. Well, it's technically an SSTO. It's technically an SSTO. Remember, in this series, we are going to be incorporating if Kerbals developed basically Kraken drives or the Impulse engine, which is the docking port connector Kraken drive, and the Ion and the Cal 1000 Kraken drive. So they're going to advance like beyond what we as humans have actually advanced to in their pursuit of who built the monolith. That's where we're going. We're following the path of the monoliths. Because I actually haven't gone out and seen all of the anomalies. I've played this game for quite some time. Why am I not slowing down? Like, shut that down. That slowed me down, but I was going like 7 meters per second pretty consistently. I haven't even hit the engine yet. But yeah. Okay. Was it the engine? Just having it activated pulls me at very vanilla, no clipping, no debris. See, and I was no clipping for a long time, but like I said, now with same vessel interaction, it's almost part of the game to clip and make things. And I very much try to do no debris as well. I don't like leaving things behind. So I will either recover everything I can, absolutely, or I will smash it as hard as I can into a planet to make sure that it doesn't exist in my game as debris anymore. That's my strategy. It works. Not really, but I say it does. Shut down. So let's do this again. Log temperature, log pressure. Clipping is fine if there's room inside for it to work. Clipping full fuel tanks together. No, I would. It's got to make sense. Like I said, you can't just put 2 items in the same spot essentially and have them work like that. I don't like when that happens. Conduct. So yeah, some clipping is fine, especially for the sake of like looks or something like that. But don't like taking a fuel tank and clipping 18 modules inside and saying that that's normal. No, that's not how it would work. You need space for your fuel. All right. I wish this thing would stop, but it doesn't seem like I'm going to be able to get that to happen right away. EVA. EVA report. EVA report done. All right. Now. Oh, we got to do goo. And then we open this up. Goo. Observe goo. There we go. Yes. Collect all. All items have been stored. See, this is why this part right here is why I want to be able to actually stop. Maybe I shut down the intake. Close intake. Is that what's pulling me? I don't even think I need the fuel or the jet engine. I'm just falling constantly. Okay, anyways. We're going to EVA, and then this is why we brought a scientist. Restore, restore. There we go. And board, off to the next biome. Now we got it. And it's on the way. And that's a pretty decent way. I'm not going to say it's the best way because I can't make it stop. But maybe it is that steering, just turn all of this off. Like, all of this. No, override, override, override. That's what I want. All of this auto stuff has a... Oh, no. Reset. Has a tendency to sometimes push you forward. But no, this is just a weird physics where I have, a vessel that moves without using any fuel. So we're going to take advantage of it. Might move a little slow, but that's okay. We're not going very far. And if we need to, we can always speed up. I don't know about slowing down, but we can speed up. Probably speed up just by taking the brakes off. Swaying a little bit. Oh, look. We're actually slowing down. No. We were going uphill. Anyways. See if this is a different biome. Log pressure. Astronaut complex. There we go. The flagpole is going to probably be the hardest. Conduct material study. My best SEO to Duna and back without refueling and carrying a lander and rover in the cargo bay. I can't seem to push it farther than that. I think I need to try a whole new design, but I'm stuck in a rut. So what I've been dealing with SSTOs, mind you, I'm not by any means like the expert. I would definitely talk to like Vios or there's another person and I can't remember, but can't remember their name right now. I'd have to check it out later and I'll give them a shout out later. But the large cargo bays, and you just all the way through as empty as possible. The whole like body of the vessel is the large cargo bays. Did I do everything? No, I haven't done everything. And that makes it super light. So you end up, your fuel and your cargo is pretty much your only weight that you deal with. And then you got to use, I forget what they're called, but like quarter burns where you burn for a little bit, you burn for 30 seconds and then go back out and burn for 30 seconds, then go back out and burn for 30 seconds. And you just got to keep, it's a long haul. It's just like driving with, what's it called? Ions. I hate driving with ions like the traditional way. All right, let's do EVA. Board. Oh, birth effect. Yeah. See, I told you there was like a word for it. I'm not that smart. I just like this game. Did I get everything? Transfer data. And I got the goo. Good. All right. Let's collect all. Yeah, so all items stored. So we're at 12 now. We'll EVA again. Restore. Board before we run into something. Oh, okay. All right, let's head to the administration building. Let's head to the shack out back where admin lives. I'm not gonna lie, I don't normally utilize these. What'd you get yourself? That pasta? Yummy pasta? I don't normally utilize... Oh, there's the flagpole. I want to do the flagpole last because I think I might have to just kind of slam into it to stop. Otherwise, I'm just going to be going around in circles. Yoo-hoo! Oh, yeah. It's going to be some good yoo-hoo. Is this a different biome? What is this considered? No, this is still astronaut complex. Okay. I mean, all in all, for a low budget, completely recoverable, low tech, early career Rover, that's not that bad. And like Keith Meefs pointed out, probably, and I might, probably could take this thing right into the ocean and just keep on trucking, you know? Ooh, we might. I don't know if it'll sink. Oh, it doesn't have to. I can just push it down with the jets. But still, we might, because we might go somewhere. I might turn this engine back on. Why are you going so slow? Go, go, go. You were going like 2 miles an hour or meters per second before. Am I uphill again? Maybe. Whoa. What just happened? Is that as close to it as I can get? It's like, no, you can't. You can't go to the admin building. That's not allowed. Is there just like a... I don't want to turn my engine on and just slam into it. Let's go up here. Oh, there. It was like a bump in the road that I just wasn't powerful enough to get over with these wheels. I was like, what happened? It looked like I just ran into an invisible wall. All right, there we go. So let's do it now. Log pressure data. See, more science. This is how you gather the science up front. Open doors. Oh no, conduct material study. Materials show little signs of change, though one of the sample appears to be judging you silently. Damn administration building. Let's do a crew report. You record the crew's assessment of the situation. Well, that's good. That's what we were hoping to do. Let's check out the mystery goo. The goo says nothing. Cool. Keep that. Turn. Turn. We got to stay on the premises. And we will do our EVA report. Board. Yeah, so I rely on that Oberth effect like quite a lot because I'm not going to say I build the best SSTOs out there. So a lot of them are kind of like, wow, I try to save as much fuel as humanly possible because I never know if my calculations are quite right. So let's see here. EVA. Let's get this restore. Get this restore. There we go. Board. Off to the next place. This isn't really changing my speed, I don't think. Having these two off. Maybe the engine, but not the air intake. So I'll stop turning that off. And I can speed up a little bit in the in-between. Oh, I don't want to go down such a steep hill. I didn't know that was such a steep hill. That's crazy. Admin gotta be up on their little hill over here. That's what it is. Whoa! Whoa! Come on. I would like to keep going forward. There we go. I go too fast. I might take off. I didn't actually check the aerodynamics of this thing, but it's possible. Woo. I should probably... Oh. Has no operational STS. That's good. It's only a pilot. Oh no. It's not a pilot. That's why it has no STS. So we're gonna shut down. We're gonna look at that. That was a on the dime. I'm very lazy and can never be ours. The only single launch rocket I need to do it. So my Kraken Hunter, but it is still a work in process. Nice. That'd be cool to see. I like seeing new designs and stuff like that. So like this, I was thinking about all day, and it looks cool, but I would normally be covering this with a bunch of these panels and stuff like that and making it look much better than it does, but I have a parts limitation on this, and I needed to get lots of science. So let's see. Temperature readings are quite literally nominal from research and design. They got a weird kind of a building, don't they? What do we got here? Little signs of change, though one of the sample appears to be judging you silently. There we go. I thought they would have like funny things because they're different biomes, but I guess not. Come on. Come on, Kerbal creators. You can do it for the fans. Go in for the fans. EVA report. Good. How much room do I have? I can do this while I'm... Oh, no. Quite literally can't do this while I'm off the vessel. Or out of the vessel. So we'll collect all. See, we're up to 24 stored. No, this. Restore. And restore. There we go. I actually just did a Kraken Drive prototype jet kind of thing, spaceplane SSTO, and it's beautiful. It might actually be one of the best vehicle. I don't like the nose of it, but it might be one of the best simple vehicles that I've ever made. But it is ridiculously powerful. So we might do a little showcase on that. Where are we going next? I think each one of these like little hangars has stuff. Well, I guess we'll head towards the VAB because we did administration and the hangar. We want to end on the flag, so we'll do the building next to the flag afterwards too. My designs are very boring. Launch escape at the top. MK. See, it's that MK3 command pod. I don't like it. It's too pointy. I want like a front facing. You can do it with I forget which one it is. The carrier, the one that goes from thin to round, whatever it is. But yeah, you can do it with that kind of. There was a mod that had a really cool one back in the day, but I don't like how pointy that one is. But I use it. I just put some flair on it, change it up a little bit. Conduct material studies. Crew report. And let's see here. Goo. Observe the goo. I swear, what? I have my brakes on. How am I going at 3.2 meters per second? What is going on? Everything is off. There's nothing like powering this thing. That might slow it down a little bit. EVA. Hold on for dear life, Jeb. Cool. Then we'll store everything. Collect all. Oh no, I did all of that and it was all of the same place. So wait, what is it? Review data. See, it won't collect anything from the same place, so I'm still at R&D. This was R&D. All right, recycle. So let me pop this guy out again. Bob, I need you to reset things for me. Reset. And then board. Orbiter, module, lander, and rover in payload, then lifter stage. I'm as boring as beige paint. See, and I used to be like that, but now I've had a lot of fun, especially with the robotics and the folding and like what you can do. And when, like I said, once I started accepting clipping, normally it's not this, you know, ugly, but you can do little cargo bays and stuff like that that makes sense and help everything out. Is this research? Yeah, this whole thing is research and development. All right, so I'm gonna head out this way towards activate, open intake. Let's go. We're gonna head out towards the satellite, whatever that communications and tracking station is what it's called. Oh, that was fast. Whoa. Yeah, see, I can do a weird wobble break. Stop me and just shake me around a little bit. So we want to go out this way. I've done the launch pad, so I don't have to worry about that. And I've done runway, so I don't have to worry about that. It's just we got to do the VAB, the crawlway, and then the main building and the flagpole after this. And then we'll go out to the monolith. This is actually working way better than I expected, although I am seeing a loss of electric, so I don't know if we'll be able to. Might charge it back up. I actually had the hopes that I could just throw on the brakes and run this really low, and then that would recharge my battery eventually. That's not going to happen. I can't even stop the thing. All right, let's see here. Conduct material study from tracking station. There we go. There's science. We will do all the science. What? Log. Log temperature. There we go. And then you observe. Keep. Overwrite curve. Keep. I forgot the other ones didn't like reset, so they should be good now. Collect all. Not all items could be stored. Which one wasn't stored? Log. Yeah. Just to make sure. Log. Yeah. Collect all. All right. Wherever we are. EVA report. Tracking station. Yeah. Board. Turn around so I don't leave the tracking station. Collect that one. There we go. And then, oh, I have to reset. We can do that on the pathway out. EVA. Restore. Restore. There we go. Board. Now off to the crawlway. It's the next place. Do I still have these on? Yeah. So I think we'll have to launch another one after recovering this one for the stuff I wanted to do. The other thing that I wanted to do. This should get us all of the science and hopefully out to the monolith. But we will see. We will see. I'm actually quite impressed with how this turned out. A lot better than I had hoped. I thought it was gonna take over like an hour or so to get it built and running. Actually quite quick. All right. So this is the crawlway, and we should be able to do science in the crawlway. shut down the engine. It says in your bio you like survival simulator. Yes, I played it briefly. I was more into like Green Hell, Forest, Conan,
Miscreated.
Miscreated, Daisy, those kinds. I didn't really play too much of Tarkov or like PUBG. I don't really consider them. I mean, Tarkov is, but like PUBG calls itself a survival game, and that's. I mean, guys, yeah, you're surviving, but you're not eating, you're not drinking, you're not. It's not surviving. It's just not getting shot. Overwrite. Yes. Keep clicking the wrong thing. Yes. Observe mystery goo. Whoa, whoa. Yes. Crew report. Yes. EVA. Whoa. EVA report. Get back in before we crash. Whoa. Turn all the way around. PUBG ain't survival, but fair play. No, Tarkov is a lot better than PUBG when it comes to survival. I just wasn't my cup of tea, really. Keep saying not all items. I don't know why. Oh well, we're getting a lot, so. I might have gotten them from other places. So EVA, then restore. Like I might have picked up that crew report on another mission or something like that. So. Let's should we speed up? Let's speed up. It doesn't like any like bumps. Especially if you're turning on a bump, it just kind of like collides into it. But we play Green Hell on a private server. That one's a lot of fun and terrifying sometimes. It used to be terrifying when we first started playing. Now I'm hunting jaguars, and that's much better than being hunted by jaguars. If you have an option, be the one doing the hunting. It's better sometimes. Definitely don't be the one being the bait. That's what if you come play in our server, that's what I make you do. You have to be the bait the first time, so I can get a jaguar. Crew report. Okay, EVA report. Okay, board. Collect all. So now we're up to 42 different, like, and each one of those is more than one. Like, it's not like I'm getting 42 science here. It's 42 different experiments, and each one of them is like 2 to 3, honestly. So this is definitely something that's worth it without, like, I've seen people send like 8 or 9 modules into the sky and stuff like that. No. Build a rover, just slowly drive around. And I think I'm even missing some. Like, what is that? Did we go to that? We didn't go over there. Let's go over there real quick. Oh, no, we'll hit that on the way out, actually, because we want to go over to the monolith, and that's on the way. So, and you get to see things, little things. Like, there's I don't know if it's still out here. There used to be a monument of the first capsule, I think. Yeah, there it is. It's over there. No, that's the flag. Do they still have the monument? Maybe the flag replaced it. I don't know. But there used to be a little capsule down here as a statue, I think. I remember. when the game first came out, this whole thing was absolutely finding good survival games with good end game is right. I was super excited when they eventually released an actual end game to Stranded Deep. I I had alpha tested that game and I hated, like, I built the SOS. I had big fire. No, there's no way to get saved in that game for like a very long time. It's quite annoying. Log. Um, log. No, Kerbal when it first came out looked very, very different. Sir Mr. Goo. The buildings were kind of almost cartoony in the futurism that they were using. I think they look much more realistic and better now, especially like the levels that they have. EVA report. Okay, EVA report. This is astronaut complex. Good. And then, okay. Store it all. Collect all. Wow, why not? Already stored in this module? Oh, I must have done the building already. Okay. Then we'll go and try and do the flagpole. Let's get it prepped. Reset materials. Reset go. I remember trying to play Stranded Deep with a controller and it was just too odd. Yeah, especially early Stranded Deep, like you had to figure out by yourself to climb up a tree and drop a rock, and that's how you broke it in half and started making tools. It was a little complicated, especially being like very early on in that type of survival game era. No, that's the astronaut complex. Do I have to crash into it? Do I have to be like touching it? Whoa, no. Log temperature. Oh, maybe they don't do the flagpole differently anymore? Is that what it is? I'm gonna like turn that engine on. It's gonna blast me forward. Okay. I'm gonna move forward just slightly and boop. That should keep me there. Crew report? Overwrite crew report? From the flagpole. There we go. Gotta be like touching it. From the flagpole. Log. Overwrite. Log. Overwrite. And I liked the build system in Stranded Deep a little bit more than the build system in the forest. Although now that I'm playing Green Hell and it has more of a the forest kind of build, I very much appreciate it. It works in this game very well. EVA report. That should be everything. So board, store, stored. Oh no, that's not what I want. Just store. Oh, I reviewed. That's what I did. Get out of this. Can I? Oh, okay. Apparently I have to do all of them. And there we go. Okay, so collect all. Not all items could be stored. I don't know why it's saying that. Now let's see if we can wiggle our way off of the flagpole now that we've stuck ourselves here. Nope, that might be the end of this little adventure because I can't back up. It's not letting me. Let's see here. No. Oh well. I mean, that should be like a lot, and we kind of expected that to happen. Yay. How do I turn those off again? Is it F2? F2. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, that's the wrong movie. But it was successful. We got 48 experiments. That's double when I last checked. And I think we hit most of the places. That's pretty awesome. We actually might take this out and see how it does in the ocean. So and because we're doing that, we can change it a little bit, change it up. So at this point, we can shut down that engine and recover vessel. Oh, 163 science just from driving a little low-tech rover around the KSP command center. Oh, thank you, Keith Meefs. That's awesome. Thank you. Um, as you can see, I haven't updated my thing because I just came back from streaming after a while. So you get the old retro Twitch follow. But thank you so much. That was awesome. But yeah, just from driving around, you can gather so much. And I wanted to show people that. And I was surprised that there wasn't like a low tech rover tutorial on this, because this is a great way to really progress through the beginning of the game when you're doing a career mode, because you just gather so much. And I didn't lose like anything. I think I lost a little bit of fuel, but that was it. Everything else was recovered, Yeah, so, and the crew was fine, obviously, but no EXP gain because he didn't really do anything, other than just crew reports. So that's that. Now, I'm going to go into the science tree, but I'm going to do it after because I want to just, with the tech that we have now, I want to see how this thing performs out in the water. And I'm wondering if I should change some things or just leave it as is. I do need some controls. I have 3 parts left. Let's see here. I shouldn't need much in the way of controls, but I need something to at least... How big is this? It's huge. It's gigantic. This one's... I don't know. These are huge. I'm not going to do it that way. Give me this. And let me see this. Yeah, we'll do this. We'll try this. Just a simple control. And we'll actually have it sticking mostly out of the top because I want it out of the water. There we go. Should I turn it? Yeah. Let's tilt it a little bit. And then like that, right? Oh, too far. That. Right. Let's give it a shot. Let's see what. Now it should be fine. I think that's within the realm of clipping for low tech. It kind of works. Let's see if we can get it out to the water. I probably should have launched it from the VAB, but that should be fine. Doesn't look like it's doing anything. I wonder if it'll even matter if I even needed it. wonder if this thing could fly. A lot of wondering. All right, we're going 14 meters per second, which is faster than we've ever gone with this thing. And I don't know how to slow it down. So we're just going to kind of coast. Actually, we could probably. Oh, no! Time warp cracking. Try that again. Maybe just one warp. I keep trying to turn on SAS. That's not gonna. It's not gonna work. This thing's not working either. It's not doing anything. I don't think it can. I think it's stuck. Oh, and it's clipping through this. That's no good. All right, going 10. Nope, even a little bit of time warp gets really wiggly. I think I'm still going to want this here just to keep us going straight in the water. And then hopefully... We'll see. It's a long, long road to the water. On the road again. I can't wait to get back on the road again. Doing music with my friends. Why can't get wait back on the road again? Ooh. Looks like something evil just went over us, but it's probably a cloud. Oh, not a cloud in the sky. Bum, bum, bum. Is that just day and night? It's crazy. Turn on our lights. Oh, by the way, we could have gone to the monolith. It's over there. Actually, we can, because we can get into the water that way, too. So let's do both. A little bit of pickup in speed, but not a big problem. Cool. So, as I was explaining in the last episode, what is driving us is all of Kerbal has united in one unified effort. There are no city, there are no towns. It is just the command centers, the space centers, trying to figure out who built the monolith. As you'll see as we move forward, there's been ancient civilizations here on Kerbal, but we know for a fact that none of them built the monolith, so we will be looking elsewhere to the skies to find out who built the monoliths and follow the path that they left for us. Well, we don't know there's a path yet. There's only one monolith, but everybody knows there's more in the game, so there will be a path to follow of these monoliths as we progress from planet to planet. And we're doing it all in career mode to kind of limit us, but not so much. Just with it keeps us in check with reusability and stuff like that. And it keeps our technology from happening right away, because that's not quite as fun. If you're trying to do a storyline and you're starting out from the beginning, and then from the get-go you can just build the best kind of ship, there's no real need for innovation, and you can't build off that innovation for your next innovation. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? All right, so we're coming up on the monolith. I wonder if there's... Hold on. Curb and Shores. Okay, so I don't know if I've done all of them here. Log pressure. I can't even see the thermometer anymore. That's hilarious. Do goo. And I know I've done a crew report. I wonder if there's a crew report or anything weird near the monolith itself. I might have to crash into it again, and I really don't want to do that. Unless I crash at like an angle. But we are approaching the monolith. The reason our flag is sticking in line with squads design is because these monoliths here, or at least this monolith here, has the same monkey face on it, and we all worship the monolith and the creators who created it. You know what I mean? That's the monolith. Let me get some shots real quick. Hold on, how do I? There we go. And then I want to be right there. There we go. Beautiful. I love it. All right, so now we're heading out. I don't know if I have an EVA report from here, but just in case. No. Recycle that. Oh. Did I even transfer any of it yet? Open. Collect all. There you go. EVA. Did I stop? I'm stopped. What is going on in front of me? Oh no, I'm going backwards. Go back in. There we go. I was like, what was happening? I just hit a hill. Shut down engine. Alright. EVA. I gotta reset these. Hopefully I don't throw myself off the thing. Restore. Good. Get back in. Now we're on our way. Hopefully we don't smash into the water too hard. Before it hits midnight, take it cheesy, Macho Man. Take it easy, man. Thank you so much for the follow, and thank you for watching. Hope to see more of you, Keith Meefs. Take it. Yeah, I said that already. Have a good one. All right, what are we at? 7.9. I don't want to waste battery. Oh, I am wasting battery. Turn that off. Lights off. Although I have quite a good electric charge, ironically enough. Oh, I just ran the engine pretty nice. Ooh, I'm going fast. Might be a little too steep. Don't destroy yourself on a like entry. We're gonna do some swerving maneuvers to slow ourselves down. Oh, it is working now. Cause it's open. Oh, it's gotta be open and unstored. I got it. Whoa, no. Look at this. It's so steep over here. Yes. Okay. Whew. We did it. Now. Oh, it has no SOS. That's fine. We're going to do conduct. Are we on shores or recycle? That's fine. Turn this on. And off we go. Yeah? Yeah. There we go. Now we're moving. Getting somewhere. Yeah. Oh, perfect boat. I mean, I could probably... No, not enough. Not enough, but perfect boat. So we can go out into the water and get some more science. And one other thing that we're heading for. Conduct material studies. See, it says 10, but yeah. I've done shores. I don't want to be in the shores. I want to be in the waters. And we're off on a pretty ridiculous adventure. So, I am actually going to mute this and probably put on some some music, because this is going to take a minute. So I'll be right back. All right, guys, we're coming up on, I guess, the halfway point of our destination. What we're trying to get to, hold on. What we're trying to get to is, I don't even know if I can back it up far enough. Oh, we can. We're trying to get to over here, right in that area. So we're going to get over there. I know that one of the anomalies is over there, so it's kind of like cheating, but we'll say we just knew they were there the whole time, and we're just establishing contact with them as soon as we possibly could, because they have a different launch pad, but it's right next to the water. So instead of driving all the way out for our watercrafts, we can just dump it into the water. It's called a cove launch pad, I want to say, something like that, something to that effect. But yeah, I just wanted to tell you we're about, we got a good distance left. I'm a little worried what happens if I try to speed this up, and I don't want to mess it up. Oh no, my camera's locked. Now it's doing auto. That should be fine. See what happens. I mean, it's not going out of control. It's pretty stable. All right, all right. Got a little bit of warp going on without blowing up. Oh, we could probably get some science here. Let's see here. That's still curving shorts. That's weird. Maybe I got to be like very far out there for it to be anything more. Or maybe they just count all of the water as curving shores. You were saying before that it wasn't really meant to do, what's it called? It wasn't really intended for the purpose of water exploration and stuff like that. So, but it works. It works. And so before, I don't know if that was you, Keith. Oh, whoa. Keith Meef said it before, or Monkey said it before. Nope, Keith Meefs. So they were saying before that it looks like a submarine. Unfortunately, I would probably have to put engines and intakes on either side of these to make it a submarine. Because right now, even at like top speed, doesn't have enough to go under. So maybe I've had some ore to drag me down a little bit, make me a bit heavier. But right now, it makes a good boat. Makes a great little pontoon kind of science recon vessel. All right, we still got a ways to go, so I'm going to go back to the music.
Grammarly can help you write quickly and confidently, so you never have to slow down at work. Instant corrections make your writing mistake-free.
All right, guys, with the help of a little bit of warp and some pretty good music, we are coming up on our final destination. This thing has actually turned out probably to be a better boat than it is an actual rover. But we're coming into our cove here. I think this is the spot. Is this the spot? Yeah, this should be the spot. I think I see it. So we should be coming up on any minute now. So I'm gonna, we'll go a little bit farther in warp. Go a little bit farther because it's such a long distance to cover by going at 16.8 meters per second. And I actually don't know how well this thing's going to slow down. So that's going to be an interesting thing to find out. Hopefully we don't just hit the, well, we have wheels, so we'll be fine, but hopefully we don't just hit the edge and keep going. I'd like to take some readings while we're out here. And I was playing around with the camera before. I have to remember all the controls on how to make things happen. I I haven't streamed Kerbal all that much. So to get the good like camera angles and stuff, I'm gonna the smooth like this is very choppy. So I'm gonna have to look into that. Are we warping right now? Oh no. We're getting very close. Game's loading stuff in. So I'm trying to not overload it by warping at the same time and end up crashing my computer. But yeah, I was trying to teach you how to make a low tech rover. I guess I also taught you how to make a pretty low tech boat. So this is a twofer video. Even at like warp, it handles so well. I don't want to push it to warp 4 because I'm afraid that it will destroy it, but it glides. I wanted to come up with a design that like a hydro glider or whatever they're called, where it like lifts up out of the water and it just actually runs on the blades that are in the water. So we might play around with that design and see what we can do with Kerbal physics. Ooh, I can almost visually see it from here. Getting closer. Getting closer. Got to get within range at least, because we at least have to get the like find it on the planet. That way we can launch from there, and that'll make things not easier for a lot of things, but easier for watercraft, and it'll give us some science being at a new what are they called? Space station. Space center. And I mean, 17.5 meters per second is not bad for a little boat, you know, especially if it stays stable. Not having too many problems when I turn or anything. That was a long trip. There to there, that was a long trip in a boat. I don't know how we already found those. Doesn't seem like we have, but whatever. Maybe they just gave it to us and be like, hey, these guys are your friends too. It's kind of hoping to have to find all of them. That's okay. We'll figure it out. It did take us more than half our fuel to get here, so return trip is not going to happen. We'll have to recover the old-fashioned way. The good old-fashioned way of just going up here and recovering vessel when I'm done. I wish there was like a way in Kerbal where you could return a vessel without clicking that button. Like you could pull it into a hangar or something and that would return it. You couldn't see my air quotes, but there were air quotes with that. That would return it and be like the legit way of returning things. I guess you could. Found the Cove launch site. You can now deploy craft from here. Go to the VAB and check the drop down from the launch button. That's what we were going for. The Cove launch site. We found it. We made it. This little champion of a boat did it. Unfortunately, we had to launch it twice. We could have done it on one launch if we didn't have to crash into the flagpole. All right. I don't know how well we're going to stop. All right, we stopped pretty good, so we can. Still moving at like 6 meters per second. So we're gonna try and get us up there, and then we'll do some science. For science! I'm probably not going to be able to stop once I get up there either, so I'm going to kill my engine now. I have the brakes on. Not that they're going to do much. But I have made it. Ooh. Don't fall back in the water. I don't want to go back in the water. I want to go that way. We're at like a weird angle, so I might not be able to stop anyways. There shouldn't be too many... Ooh, X, before I throw myself at things. Oh no, there's no way to slow down now. Go uphill, go uphill. There we go. That'll slow us down a bit. And I'd have to go back in the water to get onto the launch pad, so that's fine. So let's do our science here. Conduct materials studies. I can't do the temperature because I can't see it. Log the pressure. Whoa. Don't go back in the water. Do a crew report. Keep that. Do an EVA report. Woo, flying blind. EVA report. Oh, about to go backwards. Really? Board. Whoa. Oh, it's not letting us. Oh, there we go. Okay. And then while I'm moving slow, I want to collect all of that. Collect all. And then I want to go back to the water because I didn't realize that there's no like connector. Whoa. Whoa, buddy. I don't want to be hitting at 15 meters per second again. Let's get into the water. Good. Now we gotta onto the launch pad. I was a little worried about that. It's going to be an interesting game of... Well, actually, while I'm here, let's restore. Oh, I didn't do that one. Oh, well. I might go back. Might not. We'll see. Let's try and get up there first. Don't fall down. Don't fall down. Don't fall down. We just have to keep... Yeah. Crew report. Yeah. No, I don't think I'm going to be able to get the pressure. Nope. Not without flying off. Yeah, log pressure data. Ooh, no, 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 no. Uh-oh. Oh, it writes itself. Yeah. Sweet. Okay. All right. Well, we got some data and we unlocked it. We're just going to collect all. There we go. And we're going to recover. We can recover now. And we did it. We made it to the Cove site. We made a wonderful little rover / boat, which we didn't even expect. We got tons and tons of science. Oh, so that's what we're going to do. I was about to end everything, but we are going... now we're up to 215. We got 40 science from that. That wasn't bad. It was long, Thank you for sticking with me, but it wasn't bad. All right, and we recovered pretty much everything. Made some reputation went up. We're doing good. We're doing good. Let's look at science because we were going to look at what we're getting next. So struts gives us auto struts, and flags lets us make things look cool. So that's good. Got some basic rocketry, which we'll probably need. We can definitely afford this now, and this will give us impulse engines, and that's where everything is going to start taking off. So I'm kind of tempted to do that, but we definitely need this one as well. So we're going to get this, and how much do we have left? We're going to grab general rocketry, and then next time we pick up, we're going to play around with these new parts. We're going to introduce the impulse drive, and I'll show. We'll do probably a short little video before I do it. The impulse drive will teach you how that's done and how it's supposed to work and stuff like that. But for right now, we got a good section done. But for right now, I think we're done for a little bit. Thank you all so much for joining me. Thank you, Keith Meefs, for getting involved in the discussion and stuff like that. Hopefully we get to see some of your builds at some point. That'd be pretty cool. Other than that, I'm gonna go for a little bit. I might be back on tonight with some short streams about other things, not about this, what we've been working on, because maybe about this. We'll see. But I might be back on later on tonight. But thank you again. And as always, I will catch you on the flip side.